to defy and hide criminals. These people are criminals. They are not. These people are criminals, okay? And they are giving them aid and comfort. I'm just gonna have to pull it up. I'm just gonna have to pull it up. I got to. I got to do it in real time. And I'm probably spelling treason right. I'm wrong. Don't judge me. Judge me. Oh my goodness. Gotta read it. You know why I have to read it? Because I don't think people understand. I don't think people understand the weight that this carries. It says treason against the United States shall consist only in levying war against them or in adhering to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort. No person shall be convicted of treason unless the testimony of two witnesses to the same overt act or on confession in open court. Okay. Aid and comfort to the enemy as treason. So I want to look at this section, okay? Treason against the United States shall consist only of levying war against them, right? Or in adhering to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort. It's this part for me right here. Because you are giving aid and comfort to enemies of this country. They are enemies. They are. They've invaded our country. They are here illegally. They have broken crimes, and you are using our tax dollars like the ACLU uses the tax dollars. I want people to understand this is our money that they are using against us. Okay. Anything that the ACLU has as far as government contracting goes, if they have any, it needs to be removed. And any NGOs that are protecting these people here illegally, they need to be brought up on charges. They need to be brought up on charges. Like, I'm done as an American citizen paying for people to abuse me. It's happening. It's happening. It says, since ex parte bolum, the few treason cases that have reached the Supreme Court arose in the context of World War II and involved defendants charged with aid and comfort. In the first of these cases, Kramer versus United States, the court considered whether the overt act at issue must itself manifest a treacherous intention or if it was enough that other proper evidence supports such an intention. The court, in a 5-4 opinion by Justice Robert Jackson, in effect took the former view, holding that the treason clauses, two witnesses principle prohibited imputation of incriminating acts to the accused by circumstantial evidence or by the testimony of a single witness, even though the single witness in question was the accused himself. Every act, movement, deed, and word of the defendant charged to constitute treason must be supported by the testimony of two witnesses. Okay. Justice Jackson asserted Justice William Douglas, in a dissent joined by Chief Harlan Stone and Justices Hugo Black and Stanley Reed, contended that Kramer's treasonable intention was sufficiently shown by overt acts as attested to by two witnesses each, plus statements Kramer made on the witness stand. I won't get any more into it, but I think you guys can understand where I'm coming from. They are giving these people aid and comfort. War has been waged against the American people. We have people here on this soil that don't respect our country. and they want us to take care of them. Okay. Hey, Jamal. Good morning. Thank you so much for reposting the stream here on X. And we're also live on Facebook and YouTube. So this is treason that's going on by these organizations. And I find it, I just got to read it again. It says a rapid response team is a network of safe homes formed to hide and shield undocumented aliens from deportations by U.S. immigration authorities. You're committing a crime. That's a crime. You're aiding and abetting. I'm like, wow. And nobody's in jail. I think that's the frustrating part. I think that DOJ, look, this was a Google search. And this just happened to pop up. Walk with me and arrest these people. The ACLU, this is along with an effort by the ACLU. So they're in cahoots with them to provide legal assistance to undocumented immigrants facing deportation by the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency. This is where they're like, well, they need due process. No, they don't. They are not here legally. They don't get due process. You know what your due process is? Oh, you're here illegally? Bye. That's your due process. That's it. You do not need to be here. You came here illegally. We have an immigration process. We have a legal immigration process. You are not going to walk over people who've been in line for years doing it the right way and just come in here and expect to get citizenship. No. And if you think you're going to get that whole little 18-month walk of citizenship under President Biden, nope, that's been reversed. And we, the people, we will fight it. See, I don't, in all of their little, how should I say, what should I call it? Think tanks and sitting around war gaming how they're going to destroy the country. Guess what? You know what, the American people, we got something for you. We're not doing this. Look, Francis, and I'm going to refer to all of the evil people as Francis. So whenever I say Francis, you guys know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the WEF, the IMF, the United Nations, just all the evil 1%ers that consider us useless eaters. I'm going to call him Francis. Okay, Francis, stop it. We're not doing this with you. We're just not going to do it. And good morning. Somebody said good morning. Hey, good morning, BDCO. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Thank you. And again, Dr. C, good morning. Thank you for reposting. And Jamal, thank you so much for reposting this morning. So you guys, I'm kind of fired up about this. I don't know about you, but I am. Now, this is what we had read about, but this is the link to the ACLU. And I guess this is the Southern California Rapid Response Network. I only wanted to look at it briefly because I was curious to find out, like, you guys are literally going against a federal agency. Okay. I mean, I can see if you want to protest against a federal agency. Okay. But it's another thing to actually tell people how to circumvent the law. And you're protecting people that have broken the law. Like, they're already criminals. And I know people have said, well, it's just a civil offense. Well, guess what? It's a civil offense, but it's also punishable by jail time. Why would you get jail time if it's not a criminal offense? That's the other part, right? And still, if it's a civil penalty, it's still a penalty, which means you have broken the law. Period. This is almost like, well, I only told a little lie. All lies are equal. Just like sin, all sin is equal, from the little white lie to the murderer. Sin is sin. That's it. It doesn't get a scale and wait, well, this one's bigger than that one, and this one's smaller than this one. So you don't, no, they're all the same. Stop coddling these people. And really, look, stop coddling them on my dime and everybody else's. We're tired. We're upset. Okay. And they're saying in case of emergency, you can report ICE activity and enforcement actions by calling your local rapid response network. Okay, so here, in my opinion, sorry, hair's getting my eyes. Here's where it gets illegal because you are telling people how to evade. You're giving them call numbers and saying, hey, call us and we'll tell you what to do to evade getting deported, pretty much. Because when ICE is called, ICE has already done the background work. They're coming to just pick people up and detain them and deport them, like tag them and bag them. Like that's their job. Okay. That's it. They tag them, bag them, and deport them. Okay. And you're telling people to call you if you see any ICE activity. You are putting people in danger. You are literally putting people in danger, and they're just doing their job. They're just doing their job. So not only are you telling people how to evade what they're doing, which is criminal activity, so you're aiding and abetting criminals on that end, you're interfering with a federal stance. And you're interfering with federal duties that these ICE officers are doing. It is criminal what you're doing, ACLU. I don't know if you realize that, but I guess, once criminals are doing their criminal activity and they're doing their thing, they're just doing their thing. They're just doing their thing and they don't care. They truly, truly don't care. Oh, thank you so much for your response, Dr. C. Yeah, look, I'm not about it. I'm not about criminal activity. But then on the other flip side of this, you say, okay, well, we've come here illegally. You need to give us clothing, food, and shelter. Like I said, earlier this week, I was like, it's like coming into somebody's house. You've invited, you haven't even invited somebody over. They just come into your house, kick their feet up on your coffee table and demand a beer. And then after they're through drinking the beer, they just throw it into your television and break the TV set and look at you like, what? Oh, I'm going to stay here in your house. Oh, and by the way, you're going to pay for me to stay here. Oh, and by the way, you're going to give me food and clothing and shelter, by the way. If anybody did that and walked into somebody's house, look, first of all, they probably wouldn't make it to the couch. They probably wouldn't make it. I'm just saying they wouldn't make it. It wouldn't be a thing. But as the American people, you expect us to capitulate to this stuff. It's just not a thing. It's just not a thing. And Dr. C says, laws in this country are not being enforced internationally. America is imploding on itself. You are not wrong. You are not wrong. And all of this is by design. All of this is by design. Yesterday, I want to say I read over the immigration replacement tactics that they have going on. Replacement migration. Let me get the terminology right. So they do want to replace citizens all over the world, not just here in the United States. And they say it's because of declining age. The age is getting higher and we're not turning over people fast enough to replace the people that are elderly. Right. And I was like, well, we have something called, having babies. like that's how we, increase our population. But their plan is to come from other countries outside of those countries listed. I think there was like maybe 10 or 12 countries listed, but none of them were Middle Eastern countries. It wasn't Mexico. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't places like it wasn't South America. South America wasn't on the list for replacement migration, but they want people from those countries to come to places like France, the United States, Russia, Europe. Yeah. So this is everywhere. It is totally everywhere. And so, see, Dr. C has a question. How do people know where ICE is moving? So right. But that's the thing. That's why they have these numbers set up. So let's just say scenario, and I'll use Los Angeles as a scenario. And kind of not simple, but kind of simple. So, they have the day laborers in places like Home Depot, predominantly. I've not seen them at Lowe's, but at Home Depot. And somebody there may be like, hey, ICE has, been in this area, or we think that ICE is in this area. Because the thing is, and I want to go to the ICE website just to see if maybe their website tips people off, because ICE does have a tip line section, right, where you can call or you can send them, maybe a screenshot or, store, whatever you need to send them so they can go and investigate, right? But on the flip side of that, because you can do that, there are other people constantly searching to see where ICE is going to be and see how ICE is going to be moving. And you're right, Dr. C, they might have moles right within ICE that are tipping these people off. We don't know, right? We don't know that part. But even on the outside, you've got people making these calls. Again, I'll use the Home Depot scenario. You've got people that are illegal there looking for work. And I've heard of people calling ICE on these people, right? But let's just say somebody's 10 miles away. Let's just say they're 10 miles away and they see the ICE trucks or whatever. They can call one of these phone numbers or even call their relatives and be like, hey, you guys might want to get out of there. ICE is coming. That's the network that they're building. Okay. It's that. It's like a lower level social media network. So they're not necessarily posting all of this stuff on social media. Some of it is being posted, but this is why they have these phone numbers. So you can call them, right? So if I was in, let's say if I was in Los Angeles, I would call this local response network and they'd be like, hey, where have you seen ICE? So we can report to people so they know not to be in this area, or we can, be there. We can send somebody to protect people. This is how they're rolling. But this is, in my opinion, this is the treasonous part, because they're giving aid and comfort to these people by doing this. This is aid and comfort. Actually, it's accessory to a crime, pretty much. It might be more of an accessory to a crime than aiding and abetting, than giving them comfort, right? Which is probably worse, that you're accessory to a crime and they're already criminals. Here's my thing. If they weren't criminals, why are you going out of your way to protect them from federal agents? Look, I'll wait. Really? And you're using our money. I think that's the part that's the insult to injury for me, is that our tax dollars are being used to support this. So the ACLU, if they get any type of government funding, I need them defunded. And I need them actually listed as a terrorist organization, because they are literally protecting terrorists. We don't know who's MS-13 that they're protecting within, you know what I'm saying? We don't know. Or Trendeagra, we don't know. Do they? Because all these people aren't just these sweet little innocent people that they're protecting from ICE picking up. Because see, those are the people that ICE are still picking up, and where the majority of them are. They are in California, wreaking havoc on people, wreaking havoc. And they support that. Yeah, ACLU, you support it. So as far as I'm concerned, you need to be deemed a terrorist organization, just like Trendeagra, just like MS-13. You need to be deemed a terrorist because you are. You are a complete terrorist organization. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it all. And I'm not scared, because this is disgusting. This is completely disgusting.